Welcome to my latest Periscope broadcast. I'm Todd Nauck, professional comic book artist. If you're new to my Periscope broadcast channel, thanks so much for tuning in. We've had a lot of new viewers coming in lately and a lot of classic viewers as well. So glad to see everyone. My name's Todd Nauck. If I haven't stated that enough times at the top of the show, here we go. I'm Todd Nauck. I'm going to be doing a post-it note sketch here of the She-Hulk. Today, the She-Hulk. I don't know why I added the to her name. She-Hulk here on a post-it note as a warm-up sketch before I start my work day today. So I'm so glad y'all could join me, and feel free to post your questions. I'll do my best to answer as I draw. A lot of my focus goes to the art, but I do my best to answer as many questions as I can. So hope y'all ready for some live art, and thanks for tuning in. Let's get to drawing. So I got a 3" by 4", 3" by 4", so it's a little bigger than square here. Welcome to everyone from around the world. I wish I could read your language, but definitely appreciate y'all being here. There we go. There we go. Let's put a little piece of tape to keep in frame. Just as a little guide marker for me there. How am I? I'm doing good. I'm doing quite well. I've recovered from my trip from New York for New York Comic Con last week, and pretty much back to normal here. So starting off with breaking down the shapes with the Pentel Twist Erase mechanical pencil, 0.5 HB lead. That's my preferred lead for breaking down shapes nowadays. I also use the 0.3 Uni Kuritoga, the Uni Kuritoga with 0.3 HB lead for finer details when necessary. So we got She-Hulk in effect here. Have I ever drawn Green Arrow? I did. I drew Green Arrow in the issue of 52 I did back in, I guess that was 10 years ago. I did a couple of issues of 52 and the DC series, and Green Arrow had a role in that. You're getting your hair braided while watching. Right on. I hope the braids turn out lovely. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Braids are actually pretty fun to draw. I like drawing characters with braided hair. My creator-owned character, Lilyhammer, she has braids, oftentimes. So just breaking down the face here. Young artists, make sure you learn how to break down the face. You have the center of the face, the eye line, nose line, mouth line. Generally speaking here, eye line halfway from the top of the head to the chin, nose line halfway from the eye line to the chin, mouth line halfway from the nose line to the chin. Break down those shapes. Hairline, usually halfway from the top of the head to the eye line, depending on the person's hairline. So I like to rough in the hairline, comes to the temple, cutting down, cut over to the ear, and down. That's a general hairline. It was great meeting you at Long Beach Comic Con as well. Did a lot of cons this year, and have met a lot of great people. I'm going to do the classic John Byrne style hair here, where she has the big S curl here. The S spit curl for She-Hulk. So we're going to do big hair, John Byrne style She-Hulk. We're really going to fill this page up with her flaxen locks of hair. Lots of locks of hair. If you'd like to see a Bill and Ted Bogus Adventure in my style, it'd be fun to draw Bill and Ted. I should consider that someday. I remember when I saw that theater in the movie as a teenager. Thought it was the first movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I was in high school when that came out, but I was in art school shortly after when the sequel came out. Dropping in the nose here, Bridge down to the tip of the nose, nostril, nostril. Drop in the pupils here. Have I drawn Warpath from the X-Men? You know what? I'm not sure if I have. It's hard to recall. So more than likely, I probably have not. My art supply just fell off my desk. What fell off there? Oh! Some whiteout fell off. I want to make sure that doesn't spill. When drawing a character from a game, what's the best way to go? Well, look up some reference of that character, study the details, the shapes, and then do your rendition of it, I think is pretty much my approach. And have fun. Make it yours. Thanks so much, gang. Appreciate the kind words. Have I ever drawn a character from Assassin's Creed? No, I have not. I have not. Do I do digital drawings? Not yet. No, I do plan on looking into digital drawing as soon as I get some free time to experiment with that. Pull the hair down here over her shoulder, collar. There we go. I think we've got most of the pencils done. Just tighten up the nose here, make sure that's where I want it. Tighten up the jawline a little bit. Ear there. So as you can see, young artist, when I broke down the head, I knew the full shape of the head, so that when I put the hair on, it was all spawning from the correct place of the hair, or place of the head for the direction of the hair. I have the skull here. I drew in the ear, even though the full ear, even though the hair is going to cover that over. You want to draw all the way through to make sure things line up as accurately as possible. That's why the sketch stage is pretty important, in my opinion. All right, let's start dropping in some inks here. I'm going to utilize a couple of different tools. There we go. First off, my Micron 08. So I really want to make sure I get the S-curl here. Going. So I like to start when a lot of people ask how I draw hair. I like to start at the right there in the center and pull around in the direction and shape of the hair. Now it's required a lot of study of real life hair, to see how hair flows, like the hair coming down over here over the side of her temple, and you know, so we kind of have it parted here on this side. Was I influenced by Byrne? I did find Byrne to be a bit inspirational. Yeah, definitely find him inspirational. He wasn't one of my biggest influences, but definitely was an influence to one degree or another. yeah, I definitely admire his work, especially when it comes to She-Hulk. I think I'm just one issue away from filling out my John Byrne She-Hulk comic book run. There's one comic that's eluded me. I have to double check my list to find out which comic that is. I keep thinking it's issue 40 or 43, and I keep buying it, and when I get home to my studio, I find out that I already own that issue. So I keep buying the same comic over and over again, thinking it's the one I'm missing when it's not. So I gotta double check my records there. But yeah, definitely like John Byrne. Definitely a legend. Never met him though. I've never met John Byrne. Doesn't really do many conventions, or at least not the ones I've been at. But maybe someday. It was great when she was in Fantastic Four during his run on Fantastic Four back in the 80s. She-Hulk has a one-panel cameo in my new Deadpool series called Deadpool Too Soon. Issue 1 comes out next week. She has a cameo in that issue. Unfortunately, it was one panel, but I really did enjoy getting to draw her for that one panel. Maybe you saw her in the preview pages I've been tweeting about on from the different comics news websites that have been posting the preview pages of the issue. So hope everyone goes and picks up Deadpool Too Soon #1 next Wednesday. It's a 4-issue miniseries. 30-page story each issue, so you get a lot of comic for your buck. Did I collect them? Do I collect them when I'm done? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of your question. I'm not sure what you're referring to. What is it that you're asking if I collect when I'm done? So sorry. On the Post-it notes. Do I collect the Post-it notes when I'm done? I'm so sorry. I'm just not really able to keep up with what your exact question is. All right, let's move into the 01 here for some tighter detail, starting with the eyes. Get the eyelashes going here. Oh, you guess they were asking what I do with the finished. What do I do with these when I'm done with them? Is that what they're asking? What do I do with all my Post-it note drawings? Usually someone emails me and ends up purchasing it. So first email into me at mail@wildguard.com. When you see a Post-it note posted or when I'm doing a video, gets first crack at buying. And I reply with the price. And yeah, that's how that goes. So mail, M-A-I-L, @wildguard.com. Wildguard was my creator-owned series that I did at Image Comics. WILDGUARD, not card, but guard. And then if that first person isn't able to complete the sale, it goes to the next person whose email came in, and on down the line till it till the sale is completed. I should put out a mini sketchbook of all my Post-it drawings. I should do that. I do have high-res scans of every Post-it note I've done, at least the ones I've done in my studio. Hello, welcome. Welcome everyone. Still seeing some different comments in other languages. Do I post internationally? Yes. Yes. For Post-it note sketches, yes. Or at least most countries I do. So far I've shipped Post-its to England, quite a few to England, a couple to France, and a couple to Germany. Let's drop in. Sorry about that, gang. Hope that wasn't a glitch there. Let's come in with a little, for some dark hair, I'm using the Pigment Micron brush pen here, using an MB to start off with. Just dropping in the dark shades of her hair. Following along the guidelines I've inked in. What's better for broadcasting when it comes to quality, Periscope or Facebook? Well, when I think Facebook has a little bit better quality, video quality, at least in the finished video that saves to my phone at this time. But I like broadcasting on both. That's why I alternate between the two. Do I prefer She-Hulk on a team or by herself? And if so, which team? You know, I like her both. I like She-Hulk either way. I think she works great with a team. She also works great solo. So I can't say I prefer her solo over being on a team or vice versa. Now, which teams do I like her on? So far, she does great on any team because of who she is, because of her character, who she is as a hero, who she is as a woman. I love her on A-Force. I thought she was great as Thing's replacement on the Fantastic Four back in the 80s. Those are my feelings on She-Hulk, just in general. She's just a really great character. I like what she stands for. She's a great leader, and just a really, really cool person, I think. And a great lawyer as well. I definitely want her on my side in a legal situation. All right. So that's dropped in the black there. Got to let that dry. I should have erased all my pencil lines previously before going into dropping in all that ink, but I was so caught up in the moment, I just went for it. Yeah, it is great that she likes to enjoy being a giant green Amazon of a woman. That's right. That's right. Her experience as a Hulk is much different than Bruce Banner's experience as a Hulk. See, I want to make sure none of this smears when I go to erase, so I want to make sure it's fully dry. So I'm using my Statler Mars plastic eraser. Just lightly erasing here, at least in the face area for now, because I know those lines are dry. I feel fairly confident they're dry. See, I think someone had posted about commission. If you're interested in one of my studio commissions, you can email me at mail@wildguard.com to get on the wait list. It's a long wait right now, unfortunately, but I do my best to plug through that list as best I can when I have free time to work on commissions. So it's good to get on the list now. I don't take any money up front, but when your name hits the top of my list, we then discuss what it is you want and what's doable and what the price would be. How can you set up your phone to broadcast and read comments at the same time? I use the Bestek, B-E-S-T-E-K, phone clamp. I can't read it's still a little bit of a challenge to read comments, but I make it work. But so far, it's been the best device for me to use when I broadcast. All right, let's start to drop some color in here. Make sure those few extra lines are nice and dry before I come in with the Copic marker. Oh, seeing a little more pencil line there on the chin, or on the jaw, and the chin there. All right, so let's come in with some YG03. Start to sculpt out her face. Let's come in with a little, so that was YG03, this is YG45 for some darker shades. What maybe decide to draw She-Hulk? The green post-it really played a big factor in there. Thought she'd look good on a green post-it. Plays to her strengths as her color. And then too, I really like She-Hulk. That's a character I haven't drawn in a while. fact, I guess the last time I drew her was for that one panel in Deadpool Too Soon, #1. Do I actually use Post-it notes? Yes, I actually use Post-it notes for writing notes as well, yes. Though I'd probably say I do a lot more drawing on Post-it notes the past couple of years, once I started becoming known for doing these. Okay, let's drop some green into her hair. Going to go with a different shade, a G46. Just for a different shade of green from her skin tone, leaving some of the color of the board there, the color of the paper, as the highlight running through her hair. Maybe put a little bit of this in the eyebrows there. Okay. Now I'm going to draw her in her Fantastic Four uniform. So I'll put a little blue in here, some B14. Oh, I gotta get those eyes. How about some G14 here for a different shade of green for her eyes. And some of that G46 again to shadow it out a little bit. Let's see, let's use some of my gray here for my white pencil trick. So I want to sculpt out the shape of the eye. So I'm using a darker gray than I would use if this was on white paper. But if it's your first time to my broadcast, you're going to see a trick here later on. So right now I'm just dropping in some what would be the shadow of, or the shading, the sculpting. So I'm using a much darker gray. If this was white paper, I'd be using a cool gray 1 or 2 at the darkest. Right now I'm using a cool gray 5 for a trick I plan to do here in a moment. Let's put a little bit of that here in the teeth for the trick. Now it looks like she's got a buck tooth right now, but that's okay. It's my trick there will smooth that out. Now we need to color her lips. So let's use this same G46. To start off as a base, a little YG97, just to darken it up a little bit. I put a little rosy on her nose here, so the R20. Just to rosy up her nose a little bit, just gives her a little life. A little bit here in the upper part of her cheeks by her eyes here. A little bit right there, a little bit on the chin, just to give her a little life. Let's see, a little bit of gray here. Let's drop in a little bit of shadow here. So I'm going to start with a cool gray 3 around her eyes. So I think I want to go a little darker here for some of the shadows, so cool gray 4. Just a little darker there on the eyelids. There we go. And now for that pencil trick. For the places I put the cool gray, I'm going to use my Prismo watercolor pencil, the white here, and now I'm just going to color over that gray and the green of the paper to make her eyes look white. So when the watercolor pencil goes over that dark gray, it makes it a lighter gray and gives me just the right shade that I'm looking for. Same with the teeth here. Start to color in there and there. There we go. Same with her uniform here. Coloring over the green of the paper and that gray to lighten that gray up to the perfect shade of gray to give the effect of sculpted white shadow on the neck of her costume, of her uniform. So that's how I work white and sculpting white on colored paper. There we go. Let's just put a little bit of this white through the highlight here, just to really give that a sheen to her the hair. You know, that Pantene Pro V sheen. So just cutting right through there just really puts a nice white highlight on there. Happy little highlight. If we Bob Ross this for the moment. There we go. Now for my finishing move. Longtime viewers know what's coming up next. The Uniball Signo white gel pen. Not a lot here to outline because she is, we let her hair use up most of the paper, but we'll just hit the spots that are against the background there. Put this right here on the eye for the highlight. Really want that a bright highlight on the eye. Actually, I want to use that white pencil. Where'd that white pencil go? For a highlight on the nose. Just want a subtle highlight. Same on the cheeks. Same on the lip there. We go. I'm liking how that's turning out. Now to put my autograph on here, let's just use the white gel pen over the black of her hair. Today is the 14th, I believe. October 2016. And there we go, there's She-Hulk. So I'll flip around, take a couple of questions, and we'll call this a show. Hey there, everybody. Thanks so much. Let me grab my glasses here. Where did I put my glasses? See, which Copics did I use? Copic sketch markers. Copic sketch markers. I did my best to name each color that I was using as I was using it, so you can rewatch the broadcast there to see the exact colors. Thanks for all the kind words, gang, and thank you for the hearts as well. I'll be posting She-Hulk on all my social media, so if you want to see the finished product, swing by my Twitter, Instagram, Art of Todd Nauck Facebook account, Tumblr. I'm at Todd Nauck on most all of those, so pretty easy to find. Can I tell at the end of the stream how many hearts I got? Yes, I believe it gives a count of those. I'm so glad you're happy that you followed me. I appreciate that. You can email me if people are interested in buying this. If I don't already have emails in, I reply with the price of my Post-it note sketches, depending on the Post-it note sketch. Who would I pick to play She-Hulk in a movie or TV show? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even know where to begin to... Ali Larder, maybe? That's the first name that came to the top of my head. How do I decide on the character's facial expressions? I consider their personality and the mood. And now She-Hulk, she's a pretty easygoing character, so that's why I made her smiling in this one. what are my tips on creating characters to make it look like their eyes are alive? Reference real life is one step, and then yeah, it's just a lot of practice. For me, it just was a lot of practice, study and practice. I wish I had a more succinct answer, like a super secret trick I could give you, but it's just that continued study and practice. Keep drawing, and then it just hopefully will start to click for you. Katie Sackhoff for She-Hulk. I could see that. I could see that. Um, right on. They are from. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure if I understand your question there. Um, but okay, when is my next appearance? My next appearance here on Periscope? I'm not quite sure. It all depends on when I have free time. Usually, I'm able to do these in the mornings, either here or on my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook broadcast show. But my next convention appearance, my last one for 2016, is Bangalore, India. So to all the comic book fans in India, please feel free to come check out Comic-Con India in Bangalore in November. Gang, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope y'all had fun watching me draw She-Hulk. She's a lot of fun to draw. I really am happy with how this one turned out, and I hope to see y'all again real soon. And thanks for all the great comments, questions. Thanks for subscribing to my Periscope channel. Be sure to, if you're watching this on YouTube, to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss future broadcasts. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the comments, and I'll see y'all again soon.